Systems rarely control behavior through force. Force is expensive. It creates resistance, and resistance makes systems unstable. The most durable systems operate differently. They design incentives. Incentives shape behavior long before rules need to be enforced. When incentives are aligned, people sustain the system naturally. When incentives are misaligned, even good intentions produce bad outcomes. This is why systems often behave in ways that no individual intended, because individuals respond to incentives, and incentives are structural. Consider modern digital platforms. They rarely tell users what to think. Instead, they reward certain behaviors. Posts that generate engagement are amplified. Content that holds attention is promoted. Gradually, creators learn which behaviors produce visibility, not because they were instructed, but because the system rewards them. The incentive structure teaches behavior. This logic appears everywhere. In financial markets, traders respond to reward structures. In media organizations, journalists respond to audience metrics. In bureaucracies, administrators respond to performance indicators. In each case, behavior is shaped not by instruction, but by incentive. People do not need to be controlled. They only need to be rewarded for the behaviors that sustain the system. Over time, patterns emerge. When many individuals respond to the same incentives, collective behavior stabilizes. What appears as coordination is often simply alignment of incentives. Systems that understand this principle rarely rely on authority. They rely on architecture. Instead of commanding behavior, they structure rewards. Instead of restricting actions, they make certain actions more attractive than others. And attraction is more stable than enforcement, because enforcement requires constant effort. Incentives operate continuously. They shape behavior even when nobody's watching. This is why institutional systems often appear resistant to change. Individuals may want reform, but incentives often reward the continuation of existing structures. And when incentives resist change, behavior follows the incentive, not the intention. This explains many of the paradoxes within modern institutions. Organizations pursue metrics that undermine their original goals. Policies produce outcomes opposite to what they intended. Systems drift, not because individuals are malicious, but because incentives quietly redirect behavior. The architecture of incentives determines the trajectory of the system. And once those incentives are embedded, they become difficult to alter. Because altering incentives changes the behavior of everyone inside the system, and systems rarely change easily. They stabilize around their reward structures. The most effective systems understand this deeply. They do not attempt to control every action. They design environments where the desired behavior becomes the easiest behavior, where cooperation is rewarded, where stability is profitable, where deviation becomes costly. In such systems, behavior aligns naturally. And when behavior aligns naturally, authority becomes almost invisible. Because people are not following commands, they are following incentives. This is why the most powerful forms of influence rarely appear as control. They appear as opportunity, and opportunity is persuasive. People move toward what benefits them. Systems simply define what those benefits are. When incentives are designed carefully, stability emerges. When incentives are ignored, instability follows. Because incentives are the hidden engines of systems, they convert structure into behavior, and behavior into outcomes. Power, in its most efficient form, does not command obedience. It designs incentives. And when incentives are aligned, behavior follows.